Now before I trim off my seam allowance on my inside seam to make it so it's only 1/4 of an inch, I want to double check to make sure that my straight line covered all the way across and that there isn't a hole in the middle. So I should be able to open up my seam allowance and it should be stitched all the way across. If there's a hole here, you have to go back and re-sew over that hole so you don't end up with a hole in your shorts when you're done. Okay, once you check to know that you did not leave a hole, then you can trim your seam allowance like you did before. So I'll take my shears and I'm going to cut it in half, making sure I have at least 1/4 of an inch left. Notice as I'm cutting, I'm being very careful to make sure I'm not accidentally cutting my shorts through on the other side, that they're not folded funny. All of my shorts are hanging down on the side here, and I'm only cutting through the seam allowance that I want to. Now, when I get to the middle, I'm going to keep cutting so I still only have 1/4 of an inch. Now, it might be kind of hard to cut through all of those layers of fabric, but you do cut them off so it still looks like a straight line. Okay, so I'm going to keep cutting all the way down to the other end. And then I'm going to be ready for my zigzag stitch. So I switch my number 1, so it says number 8 for my zigzag. I align my fabric up on one end in between the 2 toes of the presser foot, and I'm going to do a straight line all the way down. I'm just going to zigzag on and off the edge. And a back stitch. When I get to where my seams are, I'm going to keep zigzagging, even though there's extra layers of fabric, and I'm going to keep sewing. And then when I get to the end, I slow down and backstitch. And then I can take my fabric out and cut my thread tails. And then I'll be ready to press it open.